Cruz says, yes, he just released a new report on the Obama administration's attempts to expand federal power. He calls it an assault on Texas. Senator Cruz joins us. Nice to see you, sir.
Greta, it's always great to join you.
All right, here's your report just released. What is the purpose of this report?
Well, Greta, I serve as the senior Republican on the Constitution Subcommittee, the Senate Judiciary Committee. And in that capacity, we've put out a series of reports examining the abuse of power and the lawlessness from the Obama administration. And this is the third in that series. This one focuses on the Obama administration's assault on Texas, and it goes through 10 cases where the Obama administration has advocated for overbroad views of federal power and has been over and over again repudiated by the federal courts. The courts have been throwing out.
Have you won all 10? Because I know you have 5 pending beyond this, but the 10 that you have listed in this report, you've at least, we're at the state of the litigation, have you won all 10?
They have either, Texas has either won or the cases have been dropped and they've been mooted.
Okay. You write a report and you can raise holy hell complaining about a president, exceeding his power. But what are you going to do? I mean, because it's like you could probably write a report till you're blue in the face.
Well, look, I mean, the biggest thing we can do is shine attention on this, because right now there is an arrogance in the abuse of power for the administration. You take, for example, just a week ago, Eric Holder, the Attorney General, was before the Senate Judiciary Committee, and I questioned him about the IRS scandal. 8 months ago, the president claimed he was angry and outraged about the IRS scandal. In the 8 months that have followed, no one's been indicted. Lois Lerner, the head of the organization that wrongfully targeted conservatives and Tea Party activists, has pleaded the fifth, has gone before Congress and said...
Retired.
And shockingly, we've discovered now that the Justice Department has appointed a partisan Democrat, a major Obama donor who's given over $6,000 to President Obama and the Democrats, to head the investigation. And so I asked Eric Holder, would you trust John Mitchell to investigate the Nixon administration? Attorneys general in both parties have a long history of demonstrating independence, demonstrating integrity. So Elliot Richardson stood up to President Nixon and appointed Archibald Cox as an independent counsel when there were serious allegations of abuse of power. Likewise, Janet Reno, a Democrat, stood up to Bill Clinton, appointed Robert Fisk. And I asked Eric Holder, why won't you show that same independence, that same integrity to appoint a special prosecutor to get to the truth? He said he sees no problem with a partisan Democrat doing this investigation.
You know what? You're a lawyer. In fact, you clerked to the Supreme Court, so you're a real student of the Constitution, more so than I am. But here's what I don't get: is that there are thousands of lawyers in the Justice Department, and you ask political affiliation when you appoint. So I got that, and so I actually am sympathetic to him making his choice. The problem is, I do not understand why this woman lawyer, why this Justice Department accepted the responsibility, simply because I think the code of professional responsibility would. I'm not saying she's biased, but that she at least, that people might think she is, and that would poison or jeopardize people's view of the integrity of it. I don't think she should have accepted it.
Well, let me press back slightly on you can't ask political affiliation. The Department of Justice's ethics guidelines say that if the impartiality of a department lawyer can reasonably be questioned, then they must recuse themselves or get a special ethics opinion.
But it's incumbent upon that lawyer volunteering. He can't go around to the Justice Department and say, how much did you give, how much did you give, how much did you give?
These are all public records, so you don't have to ask it.
Do you expect them to go hunting through all the records for every prosecutor?
It takes 10 seconds in a Google search. And this is a prosecutor in the Civil Rights Division, which is historically the most politically charged partisan. I guarantee you, this lawyer is well known to be a partisan Democrat.
Right. You and I both agree that this is not the best choice, but we come at it from a little different direction. I don't think she should have accepted it.
And look, I agree she shouldn't have accepted it, but at the same time, this is not a run-of-the-mill case. This is a case where the allegation is that the IRS was used to target the president's political opponents. It's an abuse of power. And just this weekend, President Obama went on with your colleague Bill Riley and grinned in the camera and said there's not a smidgen of corruption. And I guess he knows this because his Obama donor made sure that the investigation did not uncover the truth.
Which is another thing, is that we're coming up on the 2-year mark, and I'm going to take the last word on this, that this is the slowest investigation ever. And I don't understand how these things move way too slowly for me.
They haven't even interviewed the victims. It's not accidental. And to be honest, when when the president goes on Fox News and says there's not a smidgen of corruption, it's like he's laughing at the impartial administration of justice. We need to uphold the integrity of the law here.
Senator, always nice to see you, sir.
It's great to be with you.